So you're thinking about moving to Tucson, Arizona, but you really want to know the cost of living in Tucson before you make that move? Well, stick around with me today because I'm going to jump in and go through some of the costs associated with living in Tucson, Arizona. Let's get to it. If you're new to this channel and you want to learn everything from A to Z about living in Tucson, AZ, then click subscribe and tap that bell for notifications so you could be the first to learn about the current market in Tucson, Arizona. Hi, I'm Jennifer Smith, and my husband Dustin and I have helped hundreds of people just like you move to and from Tucson, Arizona. So whether you're moving in 12 days, 12 weeks, 12 months, give us a call, shoot us a text or an email, and let us help you make that smooth move. All right, so let's jump in and talk about the cost of living in Tucson, Arizona. So the first thing that I want to cover is going to be median sales price. So for Tucson, as of right now, we're in the first quarter of 2024, and our median sales price for all of Tucson is going to be about $360,000. Now, compared to last year around the same time, we were at $330,000 for our median sales price. Now, for this video, I wanted to really talk about some of the other areas as well that we have a lot of our clients coming from right now. Of course, we have clients moving to Tucson from all over the United States and even from other countries. But for the purposes of this video, I really wanted to talk about Seattle, Washington, Los Angeles, California, and of course, another place that some of our clients are thinking about moving to and making a comparison with is going to be Phoenix, Arizona. So Phoenix is a much larger city than what Tucson is as a whole. So just really wanted to cover the cost of living between all of those different cities. So with that being said, the median sales price from the information we were able to find from bestplaces.net and Forbes were two of the ones that we looked at when we were looking and compiling all the information. So it's not 100% accurate. I do actually know some agents in those areas though. So if you really want to dive down into a cost comparison, let me know. We are happy to help you with that. But Seattle came in right about $845,000 for their median sales price. Much bigger difference from our Tucson sales price at $360,000. And again, Los Angeles, California came in just under $1 million at $985,000, and Phoenix came in at $525,000 for their median sales price. So overall, Tucson has come up quite a bit in the last 5 years from where we were at on our median sales price. But overall, we are still a lot lower than many of the cities that our clients are coming from. So a lot of times you can sell your home there and buy even 2 houses here in Tucson, sometimes 3. Just something to consider. That's really all I have as far as the median sales price goes. So to get into the next thing is groceries. Now, I didn't really look in the other cities to see what the groceries are there. Just wanted to mainly talk about our experience with groceries here. As a family of 4, we generally spend about $200 a week on groceries. Now that really depends. We have a wide variety of shopping here. So we have, Whole Foods, we have Trader Joe's, we have Sprouts, and then we're gonna have like your chain grocery stores, your Bash's, your Fry's, your Safeway, and then we have Walmart. So there's really a wide range between those stores of what you're gonna pay. So I don't wanna say, that's exactly what your groceries are gonna be, but just to give you an idea, our family of 4 is about $200 a week. Now moving into utilities, same thing. From what I was able to find, I believe our utilities are a lot lower here than Seattle and definitely a lot of places in California, because I have had clients tell me what their bills were, especially in San Diego, and it's nothing compared to our Tucson utility bills. So I guess it really depends on where you're coming from. Depends on how many people are going to be in your house and how you use your utilities. We have a combination here. There's some houses that are all electric, so you may see higher electric bills, but then you don't have that gas bill. Being in Tucson, Arizona, we have over 300 days of sunshine. So there was a period where a lot of people were getting solar panels installed. They've made some changes to net metering that we won't get into, so not as many people are going solar, and we've even had some of the bigger companies pull out of Tucson as far as solar is concerned. But now we do have solar on our house, so our utilities are a little bit different, but I can talk to what our utilities were prior to getting solar, which I think is important. And again, this was probably 8 years ago, so they would be a little bit different now, but since we have that solar on there, as far as the electric, our bills are different than they would be. So with that being said, our electric before we got solar, having a pool, about 1,700 square feet, and we do have an older slump block home, but with newer windows and some good energy efficiency. Not as energy efficient as a lot of the new construction that they're doing now. So definitely something to take into consideration. But during our hottest months of the year, usually June, July, and August, our bills were upwards of $300 a month for our electric. Water runs us about $100 a month. Sometimes during the summer, the water from our pool evaporates a lot more, so we add more water. And then depending on if you have grass with sprinkler system, irrigation, it could obviously vary there as well. But our water bill, about $100 a month, can get into the 120s during that summertime. Now, our house in particular, we do have a gas water heater, gas furnace, and a gas stove. So, and then, with the gas furnace during the winter, our gas bills are a little higher, generally between $100 to $150 a month. But during that summertime, obviously when we're not using the furnace, which I think is what we use the most gas for, is generally like $30 to $50. So that just depends. We do also have a gas barbecue grill that is hooked up to our home gas line. So if we're doing a lot of grilling during the summer, that's when those higher, $50 bills come in. Other than that, I think that covers all of the utilities. Again, if you're looking at a home here in Tucson, or a couple homes and you're interested, we can always find out what the average utilities are that the seller has been paying on the property and get that information to you. It's going to vary depending on, your lifestyle and how much of those utilities that you use, but just kind of gives you a good idea, especially compared to where you're at now and what you're paying. From what I was able to find, healthcare was lower here than a lot of those places. Transportation also lower. Gas was kind of right in line, surprisingly. So as far as gas goes, our prices here right now, according to Gas Buddy, are about $3.09 to $3.29 a gallon. Now, I know that I paid about $3.65 yesterday when I filled up, so I know that Gas Buddy isn't 100% accurate, but just kind of gives you an idea. Seattle, what I found was anywhere from like $3.59 to $3.99 a gallon, so a little bit higher. Los Angeles definitely higher at $4.16 a gallon, upwards of $4.29 a gallon. And then Phoenix was another one that was pretty much right in line with us, and we were actually just up there this past weekend, and I believe I saw right around that $3.30 a gallon range. So we're usually pretty close to Phoenix. Now, with that being said, our traffic here is a lot better. I know that doesn't really go towards talking about the cost of living, but just from my experience, I was in Seattle last year. We've been all through California and especially LA, and I do try to avoid LA, and I will probably try to avoid Seattle as much as possible after going there, because what should have been, 20-minute commutes turned into an hour to 2-hour commutes. And same thing with Phoenix. You really can hit those traffic times where you're going to add anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes to your commute. The only time that really happens here in Tucson is if there's an accident on our one main freeway, and that's what you're using to commute. That can really slow you down anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour, depending on the severity of the accident. But I mean, you can always, get off at one of the exits and find an alternative route. We do have, all of our surface streets, you're gonna hit those stoplights, so it can still add quite a bit of time. But generally you can get from one side of Tucson to the other within about an hour. So a lot different than some of those bigger cities, which is, I think, what brings a lot of people here to Tucson as well. With that said, I want to touch base on sales tax. Our current sales tax in Tucson is about 8.7%. From what I was able to find, I believe Phoenix is at 8.6%, and LA was at 9.5%, and then Seattle actually came in at 10.25% from what we were able to find. So our sales tax, other than being slightly higher than Phoenix, was considerably lower than some of the other cities that we were looking at. And then the median income and property taxes are the last two things that I want to make sure that I touch on in this video. So the median income for Tucson, now this is according to a census that was done from 2019 to 2022, put us at about 52,000 for our median income, whereas Phoenix was 72,000, LA was 76,000, and Seattle was about 116,000. So our median income is obviously much lower here than a lot of places, but so is our cost of living. So I guess you got to kind of look at that and factor that all in. So the last thing I want to talk about, of course, because this is a real estate channel and you're coming here to learn about real estate, is property taxes. Now, from what I have been told from a lot of clients that are coming from other areas, they pay property taxes based on what their current value is of their property. Here in Tucson, and really for the purposes of this video, I'm only going to talk about properties that are in Pima County, which is a majority of Tucson, but we do also have Cochise County and Pinal County. So if you're in one of those counties, it could be slightly different. If you're looking at a property in one of those counties, reach out to us. We're happy to get you the information for the property taxes for those areas. But for Pima County, the way that they do it is there's two values. So you'll have your assessed value, which is basically going to be your market value of the property. And then you are going to have your limited value. So what that means is basically, especially on an older house, say like a 1980s house, the taxes at that time, your assessed value, limited value were pretty close right there. When it was initially built, and then they can only go up 5% from that limited value per year. So your assessed value is going to change to match market value, but that is not what you're going to pay your property taxes on. You're going to pay it on that limited value, which again can only go up 5% per year. So, we've seen houses like ours is a 1980s house, and if it was a 2022 house even, we would be paying probably double the taxes, the property taxes that we are right now. So just something to look at and consider is going to be property taxes, which according to the data we were able to find was still considerably lower than property taxes in Seattle and Los Angeles. So there are some exceptions to that. And then especially if you're thinking about building from scratch, you're going to be paying property taxes on just the land. And then within about a year or so, the assessor's going to catch up, and it's going to be your property taxes are going to be based on that current market value. So it definitely does vary property to property. If you are concerned about property taxes or want to know more, we have some great resources on that. So just let us know. We're happy to get you that information. All right, well, that's all I have for this video. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you drop them below. We would love to hear from you. If you or anyone you know is thinking about moving to or from Tucson, Arizona, give us a call, shoot us a text or an email. You can also book a Zoom call with us. The link is in the description below. And if you could, give us a like, subscribe, and tap that bell for notifications. We'll make sure we keep you updated on the current market in Tucson, Arizona. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next one.